Hello, thank you for attending today's training presentation. My name is Matthew Hallman. First and foremost, I would like to welcome you to the Starbucks team. For those of you who are sitting in on this required training every 2 years, welcome back. We are happy to see that you are continuing to further your growth within Starbucks and promoting the company goals. In today's training presentation, we will be going over many aspects of the corporation dealing with ethical decisions and how these decisions ultimately impact the company's growth. During this presentation, we will be going over a myriad of different aspects of the company. For those of you who are new to the company and who have never sat through this training presentation before, we will first be going over the history of Starbucks and how the company came to be. We will then be going through multiple slides on how Starbucks makes ethical decisions based in kindness. We will also be looking at how Starbucks displays kindness during everyday operations. We will also be looking at how the corporate decisions are based in kindness, the global impact Starbucks has on the world, and also ultimately the biblical values of Starbucks. At Starbucks, our goal is to ensure that all employees have a good understanding of how Starbucks came to be the company it is today. Starbucks was founded in 1971 by Jerry Baldwin, Gordon Bowker, and Zev Siegel. The first location was in the historic Pike Place Market in the Pacific Northwest of Seattle, Washington. Within several years, the corporation had opened 3 additional stores in the surrounding cities, making Starbucks a Seattle, Washington favorite. In 1981, a gentleman by the name of Howard Schultz joined the Starbucks Corporation as the head of marketing. Within the first years of his employment, Schultz took a very important trip to Sicily, Italy. During this trip, he was better able to understand the cultural appreciation that these Italians had for coffee, specifically espresso. When he came back to the States, Schultz made it his mission to ensure that his employees were educated to help consumers understand the product. This was done initially by making brochures to hand out to the customers. After a few years, Howard Schultz became the CEO of Starbucks in 1986, and his goal was to educate the consumer on the terrific product that Starbucks serves. At Starbucks, our mission statement is very important to us. Our mission statement is to establish Starbucks as the premier purveyor of the finest coffee in the world, while maintaining our uncompromising principles as we grow. Using these words as a guide, we ensure that every store and every employee that is hired and every cup of coffee that is brewed reflects these values. For those of you who have been at Starbucks for more than 2 years, understand and have seen firsthand the acts of kindness that the Starbucks Foundation has given to communities locally, but also internationally. For those of you who are new to Starbucks, I'd like to introduce you and inform you about the Starbucks Foundation. The Starbucks Foundation was established in 1997. The Starbucks Foundation is categorized as a Section 501c3 charitable organization in the United States. The mission for the Starbucks Foundation is to strengthen communities by transforming lives across the world with a focus on enabling community resiliency and prosperity and uplifting communities by disaster relief. In 2023 alone, the Starbucks Foundation has accomplished many things. They have donated over $1 million to the individuals affected by the earthquakes in Turkey. They have aided those in North America and the Caribbean affected by hurricanes. They have given food, water, and shelter to those affected by the Ukrainian war. And most recently, in May of 2023, they have rebuilt many communities damaged by the flash floods and aided them in establishing a clean water source and giving them shelter. As Starbucks continues to grow and show kindness by giving to those in need affected by disasters or war, that does not mean that the everyday customer going in and out of the stores go unnoticed. At Starbucks, it is essential to understand that you work in the customer service business. We want to ensure that all customers are greeted when they enter the door or they approach the counter. Acknowledging a customer with a simple hello, hi, how are you, can be the difference between somebody having a good day or a bad day. It comes down to the question, why do people go to Starbucks? Many people go to Starbucks because they know they will feel welcomed. Maybe they have a favorite barista that they like to see and make their coffee. They like to experience getting a quality cup of coffee. Many consumers have brand loyalty. Starbucks also serves the needs of the disabled by providing braille menus or the app on smartphones audibly reading the menu to those who cannot see. Starbucks' goal is to be an environment of inclusiveness. As an employee at Starbucks, it is essential to understand how the decisions that the corporate office make in Seattle affect you as the stakeholder, but also the community and the earth in general through global sustainability. At Starbucks, we practice corporate social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility is a very important part of Starbucks management strategy. We understand that as a company who is expanding, and with that, our global footprint will expand. Corporate social responsibility is very important to us as it will create long-term relationships with our customers, but will also give us a more competitive advantage over companies that are not being proactive in the corporate responsibility management. Our company focuses on sustainability and its impact on the earth and the community that it is in. Since the impact of our company has been global, our corporation understands that it must be considered to all stakeholders and the community that we serve. There are many ways that Starbucks has ensured that we are enriching the environment by eliminating single-use plastics, we incorporate composting, we fund nurseries, and our goal is to also eliminate our carbon footprint by another 20% by 2030. One aspect that Starbucks takes very seriously is ethical consumerism. Ethical consumerism is the knowledge a consumer has of a company based on social issues and ethical treatment of employees, customers, and the environment. Because Starbucks is continually working on its impact on the society, corporate social responsibility, and the ethical treatment of employees, Starbucks has offered many incentives to employees to ensure that we are meeting these demands of our consumers, but also that we are enriching all of our employees. For those of you who might not know, when each of you were hired to work at Starbucks, you obtained stock within the company. Every year you work at Starbucks, you earn 2 shares of stock. You can choose to keep these stock options for as long as you are with the company or choose to sell them prior to your departure from our company. In addition to stock options, all full-time and part-time employees are available to free tuition at Arizona State University. This is something that Starbucks is very passionate about continuing your education, not only to grow within our corporation, but to exceed in the community that you live. This is a form of reciprocal kindness that Starbucks displays. As an employee at Starbucks, it is essential to understand and to be knowledgeable of how our coffee is produced, where it comes from, and knowing that it is ethically produced. Back in 2004, Starbucks decided to exceed the labor practice standards by rewarding suppliers for engaging in socially and environmentally responsible farming practices. Starbucks did understand that this would not come without a cost. Due to the increased cost of ethically sourced coffee, the cost of our suppliers rose. We did not see this as a problem, but rather as a necessity to meet the consumer demands for ethically sourced beans. Since this decision was made in 2004, Starbucks has more than doubled in size. We understood that we could only succeed to the extent that our suppliers would succeed. Back in 1971, Starbucks always had the vision to be the world's largest coffee supplier. In 2006, this was achieved. Looking back through the history of Starbucks and the Starbucks financials, from 2006 to 2019, Starbucks was profitable in all but 5 quarters. The success of Starbucks can only be attributed to ethical decision making. As a Starbucks employee, you want your customers to feel welcomed. You never want a customer to feel rushed to leave the store. Starbucks offers a variety of amenities to make our customers comfortable within the environment. Amenities such as free Wi-Fi, free Spotify playlists, luxury seating. Our goal is to encourage customers to use Starbucks as a third location to where they live their lives. People live at home, people live at work, and then also they can live at Starbucks through our culture. Customers use Starbucks as an office. They use Starbucks to take meetings. They use Starbucks to meet with friends and catch up. The culture of Starbucks is one that needs to implement kindness in everything that we do. As an employee at Starbucks, you need to make kindness your goal. By greeting the customers, making them feel welcomed, making them feel comfortable, essentially making them feel at home. Although Starbucks is not a Christian corporation, our company still embodies many biblical attributes. Galatians 5:22 through 23 states, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law." Throughout this presentation, we have seen many examples of kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control that the corporation that is Starbucks embodies. Proverbs 19:17 says that the Bible teaches believers to be kind to the poor, and in return the Lord will reward them for what has been done. This is a great example of the Starbucks Foundation. The Starbucks Foundation, set up all those years ago, has been able to help many countries and individuals in need, and in return the Lord has blessed the company. Colossians 3:12 is another great example of how God's chosen people are to act with compassion, kindness, humility, and patience. This is displayed on every store across the United States and around the world. The daily acts of kindness through welcoming people into its doors, through encouraging people in daily conversation. Proverbs 9:9 says, "Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be wiser. Teach a righteous man, and he will increase." Another great example of a biblical perspective in Starbucks is this verse, and it directly correlates to the scholarship program that the company has set up. By allowing individuals who are full-time and part-time employees to partake in the scholarship program through Arizona State University, allows the company to then grow by having educated employees. As the Bible states, by giving instruction, he will then become wiser. By having the education, these employees will be able to better their work environment now and also bring this education wherever they go after the company. to take this time to thank each and every one of you for sitting through this presentation. My goal is that you learned a little bit more about the ethical decision making that Starbucks makes on a daily basis and how we implement kindness all around the world. With over 45,000 Starbucks locations in 85 countries worldwide, the need for strong leadership is essential. Thankfully, we have leaders who are compassionate, loving, passionate in what they do, motivated, and most importantly, kind. These are the qualities that a company must have to be able to last the test of time. Thank you.